Welcome everybody, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, I'm attempting to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a look today at two different Cinderella compilations, both of these being officially licensed by the band. They do have other compilations out there, but they are usually record label releases and not ones that are done by the band, whereas both of these are. And so we're going to look at the pluses and minuses of these two, and I'll give you my opinion on which one I think is the better of the two of these. Now, the band's most popular period or heyday spans from 1986 to 1994, which also happens to cover their total recorded output, despite them actually recording an album in 1999 that has remained unreleased to this day. Now, during that time, they recorded 4 studio albums, starting with 1986's Night Songs, which went 3 times platinum, Long Cold Winter in 1988, which also went 3 times platinum, Heartbreak Station from 1990, which went 1 time platinum, and then Still Climbing in 1994, which has not yet been certified for any particular amount in sales. But during that time, they had 5 top 40 Billboard singles, which is pretty amazing. All of them receiving lots of radio and MTV play, even well into 1994, long after grunge had taken over the radio. So it made sense in 1997 that their first compilation, called Once Upon a, and then it's 3 dots at the end of that, sort of leading to that idea of Once Upon a Time, when this one would come out in 1997. Now, at the time when this one came out, no one knew that that would be the sort of final new or unreleased material output, because there are 2 unreleased songs on that album, or non-album songs on it. Whereas in 10 years later, in 2006, when this compilation came out called Rocked, Wired, and Blues, this one did not contain any new or unreleased material at that time. So both of the releases are officially released by the band. Both cover the same period of time, and both of them are all studio material, despite having a number of live releases, including the 4 live albums you can see behind me there. But the similarities sort of stop at that point. Once Upon a ... the tracks are chronological in order of release. They follow the single or video release schedule. So whatever was the first, second, or third single on the album, that is the way that the track listing runs on this compilation. And there's 15 tracks total, including 2 non-album songs. We have the unreleased War Stories, and then we also have Move Over, which is a Janis Joplin cover that comes from the 1989 album Stairway to Heaven, Highway to Hell, which was a benefit album for the Make a Difference Foundation. And then Rocked, Wired, and Blues, which came out in 2006. The tracks are also chronological, but they don't follow the single release schedule. They actually follow the album sequencing schedule. So the same order that they are on the album is the same way that they fall on here. And they still cover the hits, but not just the single and video releases only the way that the first compilation does. It also contains radio hits, live staples, and fan favorites. And there are 17 tracks on here, so more than the first compilation that only has the 15, but there's no rare material or unreleased material on this one. So I just want to show you the difference in the album art. I always liked this one because it had the 2 girls that were made famous from the first trilogy of videos off the first album, whereas this one here is a band photo, but this one here is going to be more recognizable with the band on it than probably this one at this point, with the videos not being as popular as they once were. The booklet inside this one was good for the time because it had a lot of great photos of the guys in here, but it does not have any sort of history or thing like that on it, the way that the Rocked, Wired, or Blues one did. This one here is nice. It's got good photos, but it's also got a cool write-up and history of the band, and it goes through and it gives you the single releases and dates and stuff like that in the back of it. I also think that's a little interesting that the photos that they choose to put inside Rocked, Wired, or Blues gives them more of that 70s classic rock feel than the one from Once Upon a ... that album, where they look definitely more hair band. The first compilation, the track listing on it, the 15 tracks are Shake Me, Nobody's Fool, Somebody Save Me. Those three are off of the first album. Then Gypsy Road, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, The Last Mile, Coming Home, all off the second album, followed by Shelter Me, Heartbreak Station, The More Things Change, and Love's Got Me Doing Time off the third album. And then Hot and Bothered was actually a track from the Wayne's World soundtrack, but later appeared on their fourth album, Still Climbing, and then Through the Rain, also off of Still Climbing. And then the two unreleased songs or non-album songs, War Stories and Move Over. Whereas the other compilation, the second one, has 17 tracks, all album release songs, no unreleased tracks, starting with Night Songs, Shake Me, Nobody's Fool, Somebody Save Me, all off the first album. Then Bad Seamstress Blues, Falling Apart at the Seams, Gypsy Road, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, The Last Mile, Long Cold Winter, If You Don't Like It, and Coming Home, all off the second album. Then The More Things Change, Shelter Me, Heartbreak Station, Winds of Change off of the third album, and Blood from a Stone and Hot and Bothered off of the fourth album. And so I believe that the first compilation, Once Upon a ... is the better of the two compilations simply because it has two tracks that are not on their albums. It also focuses just on the hits and doesn't stray into what I call revisionist history, meaning it only selected the tracks that were big hits at the time, as opposed to maybe songs that fare a little better today or sound more like they go along with today's music that I kind of feel like the second compilation does. The compiled 13 singles on the first one is just, hit after hit after hit. And so I think if you want something along those lines, it is just boom, 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 big hits. The first compilation is the way to go. Whereas Rocked, Wired, and Blues, the second one, the benefit of that one is that it adds the radio hits, the live staples, the fan favorites in it, and it doesn't just focus on the singles and videos, but the downfall is there's nothing new on it. And the fact that the track listing follows the same as it does on the albums, if you know those albums really well, if you're a diehard fan, then hearing the tracks in that same order is a little boring in the end of the day. So it contains 17 tracks, so it does have a bit more than the first one. But in my opinion, I actually think that the first compilation, Once Upon a ... that is the better of the two, simply because, as I said, it contains the new material, and it is something that both diehard fans as well as collectors and casual fans can equally enjoy, whereas the second one would only be for casual fans. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and I hope everyone has a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.